Hello. So, my save decided to do whatever it wanted to do, which was apparently delete itself. So things are a little different as far as jobs and stuff. Tiz got level 10 freelancer to be able to have the job point up, and is now level 7 monk, working on maxing out monk, and then we'll go from there. She's level 10 white mage. Ringabel was level 10 monk, which was just because I saw no point in changing him until his reached the thing. He's level 7 freelancer. Gull level 10, same thing with job point up. She's a level 10 black mage because, again, once he has job point up, he can switch, and once he maxes that out, he can switch. And then Agnes and Adia can do the same thing with getting their freelancer up one at a time. Abilities, so he has job point up and dungeon master equipped because you don't want to run into any traps. I went ahead and gave him time magic as a thing. He could set up regen if we ever need it. Agnes has white magic and black magic right now. Basically, she can use level 1 black magic spells, which is... I honestly should change her, actually. Let me go ahead and change her to time mage. That way we have two different people that can set up regen if I need it. Her support abilities, she reduces her damage token and her magic defense is increased because that's the best thing I could find out of her options. Alright, so his... I just kind of put that because who cares? Physical attack up, sure. And Divining Rod, so we know how many treasure chests are in each area. And then hers, the best thing I could find for a black mage to use was to have her magical attack go up. So I did that. She can use black magic and level 1 white magic, which is kind of the main that you would need to use. I've noticed you just kind of need cure. They're starting to get to the point where Kira might be more efficient, but she can't do white mage stuff yet, so whatever. I want to max out one white mage and one black mage at a time, you know, if I can. Anyways, his jump command martial arts, because he did learn how to do the Kikwang wave, which seems to be, like, the best thing for a monk. The other stuff I don't see me using, because it just seems stupid. As for equipment, right now, because of how high a level he is as a monk, it's better for him to not have anything equipped here. Red cap, mirage vest, and white cape seems the best thing to do. It prevents them from being silenced. So red cap, mirage vest, blessed shield, because that's the good shield. And a silver axe, that's gained from the minigame guy. So I did the mini-games, I exchanged the tokens, and you can get silver weapons. I got silver axe. Silver weapons are especially effective against the undead. Not that I need that yet, but it just happened to be a good weapon for Anya's. Angel's bow from leveling up the village, because that reset too. I've been working on it. So yeah, he has the Angel's Bow. It can charm enemies if they live long enough. Yet again, same armor set. Same armor set. Again, the Blessed Shield. Grinder Axe. It's a little bit better than the silver sword that I had on her. And you only can get so much stuff from the tokens. I ran out of tokens, basically. I haven't really messed with the special stuff since I'm still unlocking it. I occasionally mess with it before I do a boss battle, but I guess I should. Let's see. Moonbeam, what does this do? Attack 1, hit count up for all allies, effect critical. So I should go set these up for him for now. I feel like I haven't came across anything that's immune to lightning. Okay, power boost. I don't know. We're going to the water thing, so aquatic. Let's poison it. Same thing. Lightning, power boost, aquatic, poison. Alright. She currently has an axe. There we go. Defeat 5 enemies with attack. Defeat 10 enemies. Oh, that'll happen. Lightning, power boost, aquatic, poison. Lightning, power boost, aquatic, poison. He has the bow on. It automatically went there. Exploit enemy weakness. It can happen. So what does this do? Attack 1 with fire. What? Attack 1 fire. Hit count up. Attack 1. Critical rate up. Why would it use... I don't understand. Attack 1 fire. Does it like use fire, or is it just saying it like does multiple hits? I don't know. I'm not sure I understand. Alright, and she's using an axe, so same thing. And this is just what you gotta do. Between areas, just kinda fiddle with it a little bit. It helps if you know what you're gonna face, but I don't know what I'm gonna face, so I'm just kinda guessing. I'm guessing aquatic. I could be wrong. But power boost should be good enough. And being able to poison them could be good. Alright. I think that is it. Yeah. I have been working on the friend bot thing. I've got it to the 2 affinity again. It just takes so long, and I just don't have the patience for it. Alright, now we got that all done. I put that back up to 200%. It is a little annoying, but it allows me to level up a lot faster. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Alright, encyclopedia, items, weapons, axe. Because I just got that one. There we go. Yeah, I haven't been buying one of everything this time around. Like, you know what? Save my money and use it on good stuff. Alright, so these are things you can unlock by doing the minigame thingamajiggerbobs. The better you are at the minigames, the more stuff you unlock. Alright, travel notes. Travel note 1. Alright. Carl the Innkeep. Starting new set of travel notes to regular guests who left this morning filled the last page of our previous one. To our guests, please use the notebook to write down any thoughts, comments, or requests you have concerning our inn, troubles you have encountered on your travels, or whatever else strikes you. Agnes, my first morning at this inn. It is at Carl's suggestion I'm now writing in this notebook. Yesterday evening at 10:07, I finally arrived in Caldisla. Caldisla? I forget how it was pronounced. It was 2 days by sea from Ansheim, aboard a passenger ship. I visited by such an accident as the ship beginning to sink the moment we arrived in port. I had been hoping to ask around about the terrible earthquake days before, but it's hardly time for that. You have to share a room with a young man named Turnus and an injured boy who's been unconscious a week. Do you mind? Despite the hour, Carl welcomed me into his inn. That's that little boy in the inn. Okay. I set my luggage beside my bed and took a chair at the dining table, where Turnus explained the current situation to me in surprising detail. The young man in bed had likely been injured near the epicenter of the earthquake. Turnus found him in the river and carried him to this inn. He then inquired as to why I had come to Caldisla? I don't know. In a way that almost made me feel like I was being interrogated. I related the particulars in as much detail as I felt I was permitted. They spoke until dawn, their conversation continuing as though we had already been acquainted somewhere. Turnus tucked into his bed after the sky first began to lighten. As I was not sleepy in the least, Carl said to me, "If something's bothering you, putting it down in words could help ease the load," and passed me a pen and notebook. Those are these travel notes. This is my second night in Caldisla. Night, I'm again writing in the notebook. This morning, I had breakfast with Carl's son, Owen, and Turdus. Upon the table were plates of toast, fried eggs, and crispy bacon, and the smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the entire floor. Carl discreetly served me some strawberry jam and herbal tea since I had not touched the bacon nor coffee. Owen left for his duties at the castle, and Turnus also went out after thoroughly enjoying his coffee. Oh, so maybe Turnus is just one of the people in town? I don't know. There was a basket of laundry in the corner of the room I happened to glance at, and a somehow curious set of clothes in it caught my eye. A shirt with embroidery on the sleeves had rips in it here and there. That's that boy's shirt. At least the blood came out in the wash. It seems the unconscious man had been in Owen's borrowed pajamas, but Carl hoped to change them soon. Shall I mend it? I offered. That would be a great help, Carl smiled and brought me a sewing kit. As I worked the needle and thread, I could not help but think how lucky he was to be alive given the state of his garments. After lunch, a tremendous delivery of herbs and potions arrived at the inn. That young man requested them, the proprietor of the items said. Turnus had ordered them for the unconscious man. Turnus, having spent his last pig on all the medicinals, never returned to the inn after that. Huh. Wonder what happened to him. Agnes. Again, writing, I guess. I'm guessing all these are just Agnes's notes. I have decided to set out for the canyon road tomorrow morning, but as I cannot sleep, I turn to these travel notes again tonight. I wonder if I can make it to the Great Chasm on my own. Before noon, I got into town and tried to recruit someone to join me, but was rebuffed at every turn. Might the king of Kadisla be able to provide me with some assistance? That's right, since Owen serves at the castle. Such were the thoughts running through my head, but after poor reception given in my own country, I could not bring myself to enter the castle gates. That evening, I was returning to the inn. I spotted Turnus at a distance, assuming a pose I would not have expected from him. He was attempting to woo a young lady. I decided against calling out to him. Back at the inn, I ate dinner with Owen, who had returned from his duty at the castle. He apologized for being unable to accompany to the ravine, explaining that his position as captain of the guard meant he could not leave his king's side. Thanked him for his kind words, and renewed my resolve to set out tomorrow, alone if I must. Perhaps because of my nerves, but I completely forgot to speak to Owen about Turnus until it was too late. I could already hear him snoring in his own room, and gave up the matter. I'd best get to rest myself. Trying to woo a young woman. I'm wondering if Turnus isn't... Ring a bell. Alright. Tis. I noticed these travel notes after dinner and been reading them now into the wee hours. You write whatever you like, the keeper told me, handing me a pen. I guess I'll start with when I woke up this morning. When I opened my eyes, I was in a spacious, cozy room. Is this an inn? When I was on the farm with Till, no sooner than that thought had entered my mind, a man in fighting armor approached me. Finally awake, are you? Been out a full week. A full week? The Great Chasm swallowed up Norende? My home? It was all too much. I was speechless. This man named Owen, probably feeling he shouldn't linger over me, withdrew quietly. All alone in the world. Owen was talking with someone downstairs. That was the only thing I could hear, ringing in my ears. Gradually, I was able to pull myself out of bed. After stretching my legs a bit, I was able to walk without a problem. I went downstairs, thanked the innkeeper standing at the counter, and left the inn. I could tell I was in a big city. It wasn't until I saw a palace on the hill that I understood I was in Kaldisla. What happened to my village on that day? I asked every soul I passed about it, and eventually found myself at the palace entrance. Perhaps the king or someone in his court could tell me something. I wavered for a little, but could finally work up the courage to march on in past the guard. This is my first time ever coming to the palace. At the end of the hall, I could see the stout aged king sitting on his throne with Owen at his side. Ah, the Norinde boy, 'tis, was it? Owen spoke of you. The king granted me permission to stay and rest in his city. I intended to return to Norinde right away. Do be careful, child, and know that you've a place here when you return. I walked out with the king's gentle remarks urging me on. I visited the weapons shop like Owen recommended, but was clearly far too short of pug to purchase what I needed. I stepped outside the city gates to earn some money battling monsters. The sun was quite low by the time I had enough to properly outfit myself. Back at the inn, the innkeeper had dinner waiting for me. "Sir, this is delicious," I shouted unconsciously as I wolfed it down. He smiled cheerfully. I noticed the notebook on the table and began flipping through it. Other guests at the inn had left their thoughts and comments in it. The guest who wrote on these pages mended your clothes for you. Someone who had come from somewhere called Anchime had set out this morning for the ravine, and all by herself. I told the innkeeper I'd be heading out in the morning, took a deep breath, and laid down my pen. It was still early afternoon when I woke up. Anya's was dozing in the bed next to mine. Ari, the Christ fairy, or whatever she called herself, was nowhere to be seen. I opened the notebook again after eating the lunch Carl had prepared for me. So much happened yesterday. On the Thursday morning, the 11th day of the 10th month, I ran down the canyon road along the Kadizla River. I had to fight my way through monsters any number of times, but I avoided them when I could and simply hurried ahead. At the end of the canyon road is a cave that leads to an outcrop overlooking all of Narinde. I took a deep breath and stepped inside. Narinde is located in a mountainous region on a plateau that formed some 1800 years ago when the top of the mountain was blown off in a great war between the forces of good and evil. We mostly raise livestock and grow vegetables suited to the altitude. We also have a special move shop that's kind of a hidden local specialty. There's a small stone shrine in the middle of the village. Circling that are the houses and shops, and surrounding those are the village fields. Not badly damaged for the buildings. How long would it take to bring the fields back to usable condition? I ran through the cave. I sank to my knees when I finally saw it. There was nothing but a gaping chasm where Norinde used to be. No buildings. Only a tiny scrap of field to the north survived. Nothing to rebuild, let alone bring back to usable condition. Along with the sound of wind blowing over the chasm, I could hear what sounded like a prayer nearby. I got up and looked around. A little ways off on the edge of a cliff, a young woman was praying. Was that the other traveler whose notes I read? I walked toward her. I woke up from feeling my head falling forward. I guess I nodded off while writing this, pen still in hand. It was Friday afternoon when we returned to Kadisla from the chasm. I took a short nap at the inn before going to the palace to inform the king of what I saw. Guess that nap wasn't enough to fully recover from my fatigue. I've been fighting to stay awake so I can finish these notes, but I think I've hit my limit. Meeting Anya's, running from and fighting with the duchy, what Anya's and Ari had to say. There's so much more to write. Alright, Anya's is writing again. When I awoke, it was already quite dark outside my window. Tiz slept in a somewhat concerning position in the bed next to mine, as though there he had simply collapsed. His travel notes lay open on the dining table. Tiz stayed up writing as long as he could, I thought. Looking over his notes, I take up the pen and return. Yesterday, that was the evening of Thursday. Arrived at the cliff from which I could view the great chasm. It was even larger than I had imagined. A burnt odor wafted up to me. Even now, the walls of the chasm appeared to smolder, flickering here and there. Into it fell the waters of severed streams, as smoke rose from all over. Although the wind has died the world over, an uncanny howl could be heard blowing over it. I could do nothing but stare, dumbfounded. The next I heard a whisper. Finally, you're here. Turning, I spied a tiny girl with wings floating before me. I'm Ari. Seeing me remain on my guard where I stood, she adjusted her posture and repeated herself. I'm Ari, a crystal fairy. I had heard of spirits appearing here and there in the teachings of the Orthodoxy, but could not have imagined what this would be the shape they took. A puzzled sound was all I could muster. You still don't believe me, do you? Then let me provide you with a revelation. Agnes oblige, Rasselwin. She knew my name even though I had not given it. Ari continued on, no longer paying any heed to my astonishment. A miracle in the form of a man will appear before you. Right here on this spot. Go on, offer up a prayer to him, like you normally do to the crystal. I did not know what to believe, but began to pray at Ari's urging. Can you hear my prayers? Wherever you are? Whoever you are? Can you see the wound torn open before me? I continued praying, but what followed was as if it came from somewhere else. Barring my mouth to recite some incantation, then just as I finished, You there! The sudden voice behind me so startled me, my heart nearly leapt from my breast. Turning, I saw the young man, who had been asleep in the inn for a week. He had regained consciousness. Although he began asking questions ever so desperately, I could not hear them. There was a roar of something coming towards us. The explosions more deafening than that initial roar, and enormous flames all around. An airship belonging to the Duchy of Eternia was firing upon us. I did not want this young man to become entangled in the Duchy's attack on me. Though I tried to move away, my terror at the explosion stopped my legs from working. It was then that the young man, Tiz, grabbed my hand and pulled me after him back to the canyon road. What followed was astounding. We fled down the road, dodging both cannon fire and the Eternian soldiers raining down on us from above. Eventually, the airship pulled back, and Tiz and I could finally introduce ourselves to one another. The eastern sky was growing bright by the time we emerged from the canyon road. Returning to Gadisla, Tiz said he would report to the king in the palace, but the both of us had reached the limits of our endurance. Maybe we should go after we rest up a bit. I nodded in agreement to his suggestion. Such it was that we returned to the inn, resting far more than I might have expected. And now turn to these notes. Tomorrow we must certainly report to the king, but I think I shall first sleep a little more. I find myself sleepless this night. find myself again sleepless this night. Though I had thought my mind made up, when I think on it, I cannot stop my trembling. Early in the morning, after washing up, Carl called to me in a gentle voice. Breakfast is ready. Would you let the other two know? Owen and Tiz were just finishing their morning exercises when I went outside to tell them. Boy, I'm famished. Tiz ran off to the washroom, but Owen remained outside looking toward the street. Followed his gaze, and there stood Turnus looking our way. Eventually, Turnus walked off. Owen shook his head and said, he should come back here to stay if he's lost his memory. Looking forlorn, he also went to wash up. Is his real name Turnus? Have we actually learned that Ring a Bell is Turnus? Okay. We went to the palace before noon for an audience with the king. Ah, Tiz, good to see you safely returned. I think the thought didn't need to be there. To see this nation's ruler display such kind warmth to a young man from the countryside, could not help but feel sad remembering the cold treatment I had received from the king of Anchime. Yeah, he's butt. The king promised that he would support Tiz's efforts to rebuild Merinde, and then told us of the threat facing Cadisla. A duchy airship was resting in the lake to the southwest, its cannons trained on the city. They were demanding Cadisla turn over the Vestal of Wind. Ugh, what trouble I have brought to this kingdom. Your Highness, I offer my humblest apology for the ordeal I have forced upon your kingdom. The king was surprised at my sudden statement, but even more so after I introduced myself as that Vestal of Wind. He stood for a throated shock. I shall resolve the matter. I give you my word. I will cause you no further grief. It is my fault that the people of a foreign nation are being held hostage. I, who was meant to be one who guides those people, did not ask the kingdom for help returning to my own country while they are suffering the duchy's aggression. There is but one thing I can do. I left the palace, my mind made up. Wait. The life and times of the Grand Marshal's daughter. I think those are Adia. I was a little late getting to work today. When I arrived, the editor-in-chief called me into his office. Sorry, Ishelvit, but that life and times of the Grand Marshal's daughter story you put together, we're gonna shelve it. I was too taken aback by the sudden news to do anything but ask why. It turns out word had come into the duchy on the 25th of last month that the Sky Knights had been annihilated, and Adia was now traveling with the Wind Vestal. That was the reason, he said. I hit broth, stock, and barrel that afternoon to drown myself in hot sake and cream stew with Napa cabbage. Broth, stock, and barrel is a pub that specializes in simmering pots, stews, odin, pot of foo, you name it. The 3-pot menus changed daily, and business for them in the city of Eternia was good. I'd been covering Adia, the Grand Master Saga, for 18 years now. I'd write articles on her every year on her birthday, Father's and Mother's Day, and every 4 years on the Festival of the Reunion, and uncovered a number of unpublished scoops in the process. I even know the full story behind the Levy incident. Blast it. I gripped my cup. Excuse us. I turned around to see two gloomy-looking and clearly twin brothers standing behind me. They said that they were technicians in the White Magic Research Facility. We believe we have a different understanding of the Levy incident than you might. What? Annoyed, I asked to interview them nonetheless, but they both made put-on faces. Our lunch break will be over soon. We're terribly sorry. If you'll meet us here 3 days from now. They said nothing more and left the pub. Lunchtime. 3 days later, the twins showed up. They come into the city once every 3 days to inspect the white magic cables. This was their established lunch spot. They both ordered the A set, dried cod, and clear broth. I had the B set, tripe simmered in rich miso. First, they wanted to know what I knew of the Levy incident. In the fall of EC-10, an urgent message arrived from Nother Levy, magistrate of the Levy territories in Eternius West. Inhabitants of our lands, longing for the days of the Orthodoxy, have held up in the fortress. This is a revolt against the duchy. The Grand Marshal took the matter seriously and, coordinating with the Sword Master, Kamizumi, dispatched 500 elite soldiers to the Levy territories to suppress the rebellion. Redden Barbarossa commanded the force. His lieutenant was the ninja Kano Kikyo? Whatever. Is there gonna be a ninja class? That'd be cool. Accompanying the force for whatever reason were Adia Lee and Eternus Dim. That's how she knows Eternus. They were part of this whatever. The rebellion was swiftly quashed, but not without incident. Through their own carelessness, Adia and Alternus, of all people, were taken hostage by the rebels. Rumors around the port said that Adia, trying to have things her way, had significantly hindered the operation, but due to her father Grand Marshal's influence, the precise details were never revealed. That was the extent of my knowledge of the Levy incident. Naturally, not enough to make for an article. That's what we thought, the twin thought in unison. Began to tell me the facts they knew. First, it was not the rebellion that was swiftly quashed. My hand froze. Before I could even start taking notes, they grinned and continued. It was Levy and his private army. From the outset, the Marshal's orders were not to suppress the rebellion by arms, but to meet them with negotiation. Even that bellicose, I don't even know what that word is, looking Captain Barbarossa was selected by Kamizumi because he would be a dispassionate, unprovocative negotiator. Even after Adia was captured, the captain prevented his troops from acting rashly and poured all the more energy into the negotiations. It was the magistrate Levy who grew impatient to his own soldiers into the fort to attack the rebels. The result was the rebel army admirably holding off Levy's army at the fort, only for Levy's to be quashed by Barbarossa's from behind. Why did Barbarossa, up until that time so focused on negotiations, suddenly attack Levy? To put it plainly, Levy's misdeeds had been found out. Levy's misdeeds. These were a latent problem for the duchy as well. 9 years earlier, at the founding of the duchy, magisterial governance over its territories was put in place, as many of the territorial lords during Orthodoxy's times were installed in place as magistrates. It is to be expected that many felt particularly possessive about the lands they're supposed to govern, Levy being one of these. The cause of the rebellion was Levy being appointed to a new territory and him raising heavy taxes on his old territory before he left. Already, he had long demanded a significant portion of his residents' wealth, robbing their stores so they hadn't even seeds left to sow in the spring. The revolt was inevitable. Levy framed it as the people revolting against the duchy and returned to the old ways of the Orthodoxy, lured in 500 soldiers to suppress the people. Nextly? Is that a word? The one I assumed to be the elder twin. He had to cut in, but the younger stopped him. Rather, the time. We should get back to the cables. They said we could continue our conversation in 3 days. Both stood up in unison. Actually, Adia let herself be caught by the rebels. Leaving me with a cliffhanger, the two left the pub. They also left the exact change for their lunches on the table. Ugh. I had to wait 3 whole days to hear the rest. Scribble interview in my schedule. The twin technicians entered the pub a little after the lunch rush. The A set was already sold out, so all 3 of us ordered the B set, simmered eggplant with minced meat. They began to tell me what really happened with Dia taken hostage during the levy incident. Dia wasn't roaming outside the encampment because she was bored, but rather she was investigating the territory and speaking to its inhabitants. Apparently, she had taken to heart her master's teachings. Know thine enemy. Some years earlier, a flood had destroyed much of the territory's arable land. Levy invested nothing into infrastructure for flood control or reclaiming the croplands, and instead taxed the people, taking their food and seeds. The revolt directly followed this. Adia understood and accepted the inhabitants' claims, suggested they take her as a hostage. Alright, Aternus, it's sink or swim from here. Adia's words spurred the Dark Knight Aternus dim to action. Captain Barbarossa would not move. If the fort was attacked, it would be by Levy's private army of 100 in that case. Aternus gathered the rebellion's young men and women to remove the fort's broken gate. After that, he did not run any sort of drills, but simply sat in front of a plan of the fort drawn in the earth and stared at it. One day, an old woman came to Aternus. You're a mighty bold commander to leave our front door open like that. Aternus answered her without taking his eyes off the floor plan. This fortress is old, full of holes in its walls. I can't handle the enemy on my own if they're spread out. The old woman laughed. I see. You mean to make them second guess whether the fort is weakly defended or if it's a trap. Aternus continued looking at the plan. Not exactly, but while we're at it, why not drop the disguise? Kano Kikyo? With a poof, the old woman's disguise vanished. Oh my gosh. You have a fort full of holes and untrained civilians instead of frisking in... Okay. Yeah, instead of risking incomplete training, you think yourself strong enough to lure the enemy to a single point for you to vanquish. But what need is there for the Grand Marshal's daughter to cooperate as a captive? It makes no sense and has Commander Barbarossa so worried Kikyo's deluge of words without so much as a breath finally averted Aternus' line of sight. He handed her a letter. All the particulars are in here. See that is delivered to the Lord Marshal and the Sword Master in all haste. Another puff of smoke, the ninja was gone. Several days later, the impatient Levy began his attack. His soldiers rushed to the open gate. The majority of them never made it that far. Except for a single straight path to the fort, pitfalls had been set up over a wide area. The remaining soldiers rushed ahead on the path, were knocked aside by Aternus one after the other. Kikyo traveled at frightening speed, running from the encampment back to the seat of the duchy with the new information in hand. The Grand Marshal immediately ordered the magistrate subdued, to which Barbarossa promptly complied. Livy managed to escape Barbarossa's encirclement with a handful of his close associates, but in the end, he lost his life at the hands of one of those associates. The duchy felt it best this incident not be allowed to spread to other territories, and the details were suppressed. There's an addendum to this incident some days afterwards. From the government's perspective, even if the revolt was inevitable, the country could not permit its citizenry disregarding the rule of law without consequences. Wherein a few of the latter voices called for the rebellious leaders to bear the responsibility. When Dia returned home, she laid into the Grand Marshal, agonizing over what to do. No way! Every single person who took part in the revolt should be put to hard labor. What on earth is this child saying? The Grand Marshal must have thought, rendered speechless at his daughter's harsh words. Just as the Grand Marshal seemed ready to raise his voice in anger, Adia cracked a mischievous sneer and followed up with this. Make every last one of them work to restore Levy's territory's arable land. Adia had heard from the old folks in the fort that all the cropland destroyed by the flood could be reclaimed and made fruitful if they had hands to work them. But it wouldn't be possible to accomplish such a large-scale cultivation within the farming season, and ordering the people to do so would certainly trigger another revolt. Just send the whole army to lend them a hand next winter. Adia's advice was an aha moment for the Grand Marshal, who set off through the snow to again meet with his counselors. The situation moved quickly after that. The government made an emergency purchase of surplus food from the villages of eastern Eternia, transported it to Levy territories. In the following winter, after the harvest, reclamation works began in earnest. The Grand Marshal led his personal guard. Every division supplied a number of soldiers who ate, slept, and toiled alongside the territory's citizens. Needless to say, Adia and Aternus were among them as well. The Grand Marshal, watching his daughter at work with the support of the people, apparently had this to say to the swordmaster at his side. She is like a newly hatched chick, believing fully in the first thing she sees. I pray that whatever she sees from here on out be not injurious to the people. For the duchy, this reclamation of Levy's territories Levy territory's croplands may have been its last moment of respite. Huh? Why would we know all this about the Levy incident? In response to my question, twins smiled quietly at each other. We heard it all from Adia and Alternus. The White Mage circulation hub, where the twins worked, was like a playground to Adia and Alternus, or a site for exploration, as they called it. I couldn't help but smile at the thought of them sharing their exploits while gobbling up snacks over tea. The twins left, and with my project shelved, what a waste of a good story. I had my now cold eggplant cleared away and asked the barkeep for a beer, whatever snacks he thought would go well with it. After a few minutes, he brought me my beer along with something from the pub's secret menu. Ginger simmered bear? Wait a second. This dish had come up when I was tracking down the truth to another incident. I started flipping through the pages of an old notebook. Alright. Well, that was enlightening. Or boring, depending on how you see it. Alright, onward. Now we can head to the place we're supposed to go. So, last time we basically said we should go to the tower and check it for any kind of information it can provide us about where the Vestal went. Honestly, as long as I'm not fighting mushrooms, I'm fine. Alrighty. Alright, kind of looks like the other temple. Just, you know, not destroyed. Okay, what's going on? A pious life. Not a person in sight. Still, it's a relief to see the temple's unharmed. The Temple of Wind was torn apart. I was worried we'd find the same here. Indeed. At the very least, it seems the acolytes escaped harm, or so I hope. The smell of the air here is so nostalgic. I hear all 4 temples share a similar design. Perhaps they all feel this way. The construction is plain, just stone and simple windows, no ornamentation to speak of. But when the sun filters in, the prayer hall was suffused with a calm warmth. I used to love just watching the light pour through the windows. I can imagine how peaceful that would be. I'm certain it seems a dreadfully dull and monotonous life to outsiders. But to me, life in the temple was rich and perfectly tranquil. Tranquility is great, in moderation. But didn't you ever get the urge, to know what's going on in the outside world? It's not as if we completely forsook the world around us. The world within the temple was simply enough for us, that's all. Alright. Remedy. Nothing. Okay.
This place is in a grim state, but it feels different from the Temple of Wind somehow.
There are no traces of damage from monster or miasma. This is erosion. Time left these scars.
Time. That's not good. Yeah. Kind of weird to be able to run around and not be attacked. Yeah, it's set to 200, so yeah, there's just nothing here. Best to go ahead and grab stuff while we can.
Nothing. There's no sign of anyone here.
The same as the Temple of Wind.
No. It looks the same, but it's anything but.
What do you mean?
It isn't that no one is here. There is no sign of anyone ever having been here. Not in years.
It was like emptied years ago. Which is weird. Still 2 more treasures. Okay.
Have a look. These are Vestal garbs, aren't they?
They should be Olivia's.
The design is a bit different from yours, Agnes. Not bad, I must say.
Must you? Really?
It's still weird. Because if they're intact, it leaves to wonder. Well, where's the... I'm missing a treasure. Yeah, I got that one. There's secret path. Yep, it's just... Alright. I found the secret path. Okay. Ice charm, yeah, that's... Reduces water damage by half. Immune to charm. Okay. Is that something I have to worry about? Somebody being charmed? Weird. Alright. Oops. I was pressing the wrong buttons. What is this? One of these deers. Hello. You know, I guess worse from here on. Well, we better save it then. Because what?
This is... No! A shield already surrounds the crystal. The same as that I placed upon the Crystal of Wind.
Then, does that mean Olivia already awakened this one? But it's so dim. It looks more like the shield was put up to stop the dark from swallowing the crystal entirely. The water Vestal is the only one who could have created it, and now only she can remove it.
She must have sensed what was happening sooner than I. She managed this just before the crystal was lost. And then she hid.
I can't see what her reasons were, but she handled the situation brilliantly. I'm impressed. There's no risk of the crystal being swallowed up like this, or of any humans meddling with it.
The fact that her shield stands is proof Olivia lives. Isn't it, Ari?
Uh-huh. Wherever she is, she's doing fine.
That's an enormous relief.
So that means we need to find her if we want to awaken the water crystal, right?
That's the best way, certainly. But not the only one. These shields can only be invoked by the Vestals of fire, water, wind, and earth, and dismissed by the same. But that's not to say that the Water Vestal's shield can only be dismissed by the Water Vestal. You should be able to get past your shield, Agnes, and awaken the Water Crystal too!
Is that true? Yes, there are 2 such cases written of in the Crystallist scriptures.
I think you should do it, here and now, while we have the chance.
Really?
The whole world could fall into shadow if we don't hurry. We can search for Olivia as soon as we're done.
I cannot. If the water crystal is to be awakened, it ought to be at Olivia's hands. The rite of awakening has been performed only a handful of times in the history of the Crystal Orthodoxy. It's only right that Olivia be the one to release the prayers of the lineage of water vestals.
Well, yes, but we don't know where she is. Where do we even start looking?
Let us return and speak with the matriarch again.
I see. So she's just being unreasonable. Okay. Yeah, it's protected by a shield. Darkness is still devouring it. Aerie thinks shield's put in place by a water vessel. Tiz is eager to find Olivia. Aerie said the shield of the vessel could be removed by another Vestal. Right. Interesting. So it can be removed, but Anya said, I don't want to do that. Which is kind of weird. Agnes, why are you being stubborn? What is going on now?
Let no believer escape. Show any who struggle no mercy.
Where the hell's this and what the hell?
They found us. It's over. All over.
Keep hope alive. We have to make it to safety. Now run!
What was our crime? Is a quiet life of piety such a grave offense?
We've done no wrong. No wrong at all.
Where is this taking place at? Can't be good. Dang it. Oh yeah, I've been wanting to keep forgetting that I want to keep making sure to do this. Who cares? Scorpion, I guess. You're strong enough to kill the stupid shroom before it tries to summon friends. Yeah, summon them anyway. Dang it. Nope, it worked. Out in the end. It all worked out in the end. Who cares? Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's surely better whenever whoever the monk is at the time deals with it, kills it in one hit. I seriously do not like those mushrooms. What's going on? These enemies weren't here earlier. It was just those little weird flower guys that are, you know, nothing. It's a little strange. You can take detours if you want. Yeah, I know. I just want to keep making sure I save in case there's like a boss battle that erupts out of nowhere.
Not just empty, but utterly abandoned, you say? Still, It pains me to say I haven't a clue where the Vestal of Water may be. Indeed, I'd hope that might be something you could tell me on your return from the temple. I am sorry.
Then we're at an impasse.
What drove her into hiding to begin with?
Were the Eternian forces after her? If they wanted Agnes, it stands to reason.
Who was sent here to Florum? The Blood Rose Legion! Do we go pick a fight?
I am a wanted criminal, and you a traitor. We could be marching to our own executions.
If I may, this seems like a job for my journal, Let's see what hints it can offer. I'm not certain this is terribly relevant, but I found a curious passage.
What does it say? Anything could help.
Promise you won't get mad.
Very well.
The Wind Vestal entered the Sacred Flower Festival. And it ends there.
What?
What? Wait, what?
Give it up, Ring a Bell. There's no way she's entering some tawdry pageant. Let me see that. Huh. Well, I'll be. It really does say that.
Agnes? Hello? There's no call to panic here. Just because it says something in Ring a Bell's book doesn't mean you're forced to play along if you don't.
No, I'll do it.
What? Are you serious? Really?
Though the celebration has changed, the festival remains Florum's most important ritual, does it not?
Just so. It was a time of prayer for the year to come, for a bountiful harvest and freedom from illness or harm.
Uh-huh.
One girl was chosen for her purity of heart to serve as flower maiden till the next year's festival. She would join the spirits in nurturing Florum's flowers. It was an honor and a great responsibility. But recent years have seen it become a hollow shell. They compete by skin-deep beauty alone.
Yet it still remains an important event, attended by all in Florum. If I enter, Olivia will know I've come to seek her out.
Maybe.
Aha! Then we won't have to look for her because she'll find us.
It's dangerous. That's a lot of attention you'll be calling to yourself.
I understand the risks, but if it means I am able to see Olivia, I will enter.
Alright.
Then, I'll help however I can.
I'm not certain a man would get far in the competition, Tiz.
I didn't say I would enter!
This is all so roundabout. Are we really doing this? I still say awakening the crystal should come first. Are you listening? Hey!
Aerie, given the tasks that lie ahead, I think enlisting the aid of the other Vestals must come first.
I guess, but still. So, do you have any idea of how the new Sacred Flower Festival even works, Agnes?
I do not. Given all the changes here, the mind boggles.
Well, we did pick up that flyer. Let's have a look. Oh, entrants will flaunt their beauty on the stage for all to see, it says.
Beauty contest. Plain and simple, then. From the sound of it, competition will be fierce.
I've no need to win. I need only alert Olivia to my presence.
But, and I say this with love, you're rather plain, dear. You could get lost in the sea of color.
Am I? Then what do you propose?
Luckily, the potential here is top-notch. Wouldn't you say, Tiz?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Look at him blush!
You're a gemstone in the rough, Agnes. That's my professional opinion.
Then tell me, what must I do?
I suppose step 1 is studying up on the trends here in Florum.
Okay. Très fashionable. Oh, what's fashionable here? Fashion what? Fashionable, you know, fashionable. That's what the hip kids said. How the hip kids said it back home. Oh, have a look at this. Ta-da! A heirloom floral linen stole. That's lovely and so fashionable. Not fashionable, fashionable. Fashionable then? Adia, where did you find it? I'm envious. Aren't you? It was a gift from my mother years and years ago. You wrap it around it. If you wrap it around you like this, it makes for the perfect accent. Absolutely fashionable. You're always fashionable, though, Adia. Not fashionable, fashionable. Although you're nearly as fashion-minded as she is, Ring a Bell. You're always fussing over your hair, and your shoes are blinding. What can I say? I live my life in front of the mirror. A proper pompadour is a joy and a responsibility. Shoes and belts must match. That's only the beginning. You don't know the half of it. Clothing I really like, I never wear. Don't want to get it dirty, do I? What use are clothes you can't wear? See, it says you're the only country bumpkin in the group. Give this stole a try. Stoles on guys are in this season. But this season is warm. What's the point of wearing a scarf when it's not cold out? Scarf, it's not a... Here, just try it. Times one must suffer to be fashionable. This has to look ridiculous. Well, I'll think of it as a sweat towel. Tiz, you look very, fashionable. You'd look great at home weeding a garden. Poor Tiz, he's so confused. Okay.
The latest thing in Florum? This spirit hairpin I'm wearing! Obviously, it's the must-have item.
What one?
Well, too bad. The traders don't stock them. Who does? Not telling.
Okay. That was accomplishing. I don't know where to go.
Here for a spirit hairpin? I'm sorry, but I fear we don't carry them here. There's a specialty merchant who comes into town every so often. Seems they're the only source. Though, if you're hunting trends, all the girls are dyeing their hair these days. Like that girl there. Though, I'm afraid we don't carry dyes either. Really, where do they get all this stuff?
Huh. And yes, what is Florum's finest delicacy food-wise? Let me guess, I would dearly love to escort you, right? Without question, but I'm also just plain hungry, aren't you? Now that you mention it. So, yes, any recommendations? Let me think. Florum is known for stream noodles, oh, and water jellies for dessert. Those sound lovely, but have you anything that sticks to the ribs a bit more? A bowl of eel wafers, perhaps? I believe Queen Perch is in season. Eel wafers bowl? What in the world? It's a delicacy made by stacking thin slices of eel from Florum's marshlands. Quite famous. What's a Queen Perch? A river fish prized for their aroma. They swim upstream at this time of year and are served salted or fried. I think some fried Queen Perch sounds good then. Perhaps I'll try these eel wafers then. Ooh, me too. Eel wafers, fried perch, and water jellies. What, one of everything? You, I think.
My hair color? Isn't it just to die for? That wasn't a pun. Anyway, petal hue they call it. It's the biggest thing ever. Of course, I discovered it first. Other trends? Like I'm gonna tell you. I'm all the beauty Florum needs, thank you very much. But some of the men here have traveled all over. They may know something new. Ooh, if they do, tell me.
Ugh. Alright, that was useless. Hello, random dude. Are you helpful?
The latest trend? Who cares? Forget about the newest thing. Show me the sexiest.
An enlightened opinion. What a woman needs is boldness. It's settled. We're going sexy.
That lady there's on the right track. Get her to teach you a thing or two.
Seriously? Now what? Want this and that and... Adia, did you take Ring a Bell off on another of your shopping sprees? What can I say? I see his clothes and just can't help myself. That's abundantly clear. Look at all the bags in Ring a Bell's hands. My poor numb hands. Worth it! I mean, just look at this adorable one piece. But Adia, you already own a dress that's practically identical to that. What? They're totally different. See, this length is shorter on this one. It's all the rage. You know, buying new dresses every time headlines change, you'll be broke in no time. Yes, and my purse is in no condition to support her little habits. Needless to say, mine is no fuller. I haven't got 2 coins to rub together. Don't tell me. Thank you so much, Tiz. That's my wallet. Oh, boy.
Sexy clothes? You certainly won't find them in the shops here. I'll let you in on a little secret. The old man of the woods comes a few times a year. He's a total pervert, but the clothes he sells are knockouts.
The old man of which woods exactly?
Somewhere in the southeast, down past Mount Fragmentum from what I hear. Whoever he is, he said he knew the matriarch and the Vestal of Water. He was leering when he said it.
Oh, I think we know. Now where do I go? Dang nabbit. Game, you gotta tell me where to go. Can't just expect me to figure this stuff out.
Lady Matriarch, pardon my asking, but do you know of a perverted old merch?
You'll be looking for the Sage of Yuliana then.
He didn't even have to finish.
How a man of his years manages the trip here from the Yuliana woods on foot, I'll never know.
What? There's a path connecting Florum and Yuliana by foot?
Done. Let's be off.
It's unsettling how eager you are about all this.
Well, I guess we're going back to the Sage. But by foot now. Great. I'm amazed that old man like the Sage still travels to town by foot. Evidence of the man's tireless commitment to sexy clothes, my dear. I knew from the moment I saw him he was no ordinary grandpa. So, I have no problem with the fact that we wound up out here, but... You two really plan to put Agnes in something sexy? I fear I am ignorant in such things. What makes a garment sexy precisely? Goodness, how to put this? Hold that thought, Agnes, my dear. Why spoil the surprise? Today's Black as Pitch list, entry number 1, Ring a Bell. Entry number 1, Ring a Bell. Locations. Oh man, Mount Fragmentum? What? Why would you call a mountain that? Alright. Oh, sub. Is it her? I'm not sure. Maybe. Don't have a hair if I'm behind the trends. Maybe the woman who sells it will come out today. Maybe today. Skip my meals a week. Stay me up. Hope I have enough. No? I'm not sure I understand. Yeah, because I mean, it shows here as a sub event. I don't know. Huh. A little confused. Do I gotta wait for this sub event? Alright. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, alright. Clearly, can't do the sub event there yet. Because I talked to everybody and it just kind of acted like I was stupid. You? Nah, I gotta talk to you first.
I've Petal Hue in stock! Come and get the dye that brought color back to Florum! Today only, make it yours for just 1 million pig!
1 million?
A million? It can't be legal to charge that much for some dye!
But people are buying it. Have a look at that crowd.
Why not give it a try, Agnes? It's your chance to kick that plain Jane image for good.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Alright, we talked to her this time. Now maybe we can talk to the other. Yes.
Isn't this hair color amazing? It was worth every peak I have, which is what it cost.
It brings color to the world around you, my dear. Perhaps you'll bring some to my world next.
Can't waste any time. Can't stop till I'm in fashion. Need a spirit hairpin. I need money.
Oh,
Did she seem a little crazed?
seems fashionability is status here. We'll start our trend research at the traders.
Why? What possible need have you to research the trends?
What sort of escort would I be to the ladies here if I were not abreast of their concerns?
Yeah, this can ring a bell sometimes. But it is a subquest. So we shall continue our journeys. Hello.
Petal Hue? The hair dye? Yes, it's the new craze. The girls of Florum revere it as part of the new holy trinity of fashion. Trouble is, and this is only a rumor, they say if you use it, it takes hold of you, eats your soul. No one knows what it's made of either. Sorry, but I'll not stock it. No, ma'am. The traveling merchant? I hear they come in from the east.
The east. You? I don't know.
You seem the kind, reasonable sort. I would beg a favor. I'd like your help searching for 2 girls. Sisters. And still just children. They were seen heading for the gardens at the city's west, but haven't returned. It's my own fault. They came in asking after spirit hairpins. Oh, if you didn't know, those hairpins are all the rage these days. Part of what the girls are calling the holy trinity of fashion. Incredibly expensive, though. Anyway, I don't stock them here. But I told them they might find some in the gardens. The gardens are a dangerous place for children, you see. I'd hoped to scare them off the idea. I was a fool to assume. If you find them, please bring them home.
I see. Okay, Gardens West. I don't know. Double check around here that there's nothing. Good. Good. It should be on the map now, I think. So we leave. Yes. So we actually have a few places we can go. If we can figure out the path to them anyway. I got stuck on the bridge. Excuse me. Alright, excuse me, bridge. Would you? Thank you. How do I get to that outer... Boo-da-da-boo. Yep, I'm going the right way. I had a feeling. I was just not sure. Alright. Adia leveled up. Adia's always like a little bit behind the rest, which is stupid. But there's nothing I can do about it. Now, I'm gonna do the sub stuff before the main stuff, because from what I understand, some people have, even on this easy difficulty, had difficulties with a boss in this chapter. So, that's why I cranked up the encounter rate, so I wouldn't have to grind any, ideally. And, so that I can stand a better chance against the boss. I mean, it might just be a chance thing. I don't know. Okay, here we go.
Someone help!
That's my cue. Oh, ring a bell. Oh, it's these guys. Close to a job point level up. Right.
Thank you for saving us.
I take it you two are the little ones here in search. This place
Search of spirit hairpins.
suits a pair of fair flower nymphs like you. Come, let's go home.
No, we really want hairpins, no matter what.
If we don't keep up with the trend, they'll make fun of us.
The hairpins are magic. Just putting one on makes you super pretty.
And they're so beautiful. You never ever want to take it off.
Thank you, but we're not giving up. Bye, mister.
Mister?
Mister? Oh. Alright. Well, I'm out of time anyway. Note, location. Florum Gardens. I don't care. Alright. Gonna save. Next time, I guess we'll continue chasing after these goofy kids. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Until then.